Welcome back to ABC-7 Extra Sunday. I am Mark Ross. Our topic tonight is school boards and what lessons should current board members be learning from their time on the board. My guest tonight is Real Irabali, former El Paso ISD District 5 trustee and board president, and Dee Margot, former president of the El Paso School District Board of Managers back in 2013. Now, gentlemen, when you were serving on the school board, or in your case, Mr. Margot, the Board of Managers, you had to deal with an incredible amount of data, including budgets. How do you keep from drowning in all of that data? Mr. Margot, I'll start with you.
Well, you rely on the CFO and their staff. We had a good CFO at the time. He got into it. We were really looking for savings because at that time, as I stated earlier, we had a $20 million deficit. So we were looking, where can we save without having to raise taxes or raid the fund balance? And what processes needed to be changed? And we started from A to Z on it. And yeah, I read the numbers. I'm kind of a number person. I was a CEO for 31 years, and when I served in the legislature, I was on appropriations. So I knew how the state of Texas dollars and cents were spent, and also how we raised them. But so that was a major priority for us to begin with. In addition to the same time, hiring a new superintendent and determining the internal processes and changes we needed to make. But you rely on staff. And if you don't have a good CFO, if things are slipping through the cracks, if there are surprises, as a CEO, I used to tell people, I hate surprises. Don't let me ever have a surprise. I've never had a good surprise. So, if there's a problem, let's air it out early. And that's what we did. We went through it, and we had a team working on it, and all of us at the Board of Managers were all involved on it.
Mr. Irabali?
I mean, to Mr. Margot's point, you have to rely on the team, which is the staff. And the reality is every board packet, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of material. And you're not expected to be an expert in every field. I gravitated towards the finances of it. I gravitated towards the operations. But if I didn't know something in the academic space, I could always rely on our chief academic officer or others in the district to answer my questions. And so for me, I invested over 30 hours a week in EPISD. It was my second job. It was my fourth child. I mean, I really spent a lot of time to learn because I wanted to be a master of this craft. And so if you're willing to invest the time and learn the processes, it works out. But you have to know what to look for. If you just go in reading all 3,000 pages and your eyes are glossing over, you're not retaining any of that information. And slowly as you build time on that board and slowly as you vote on these things, you know what questions to ask. You know, looking at what the funding sources and what that means. You know how to avoid using the fund balance when you don't have to. There's just things that you pick up over time. And going back to one of the TASB's, one of their 5 things or 2, I'll tell you, is getting a mentor. My first year, I didn't have a mentor. We were isolated in El Paso. I went to a couple of TASB's. I met some amazing people. Then they began to mentor me and begin to teach me a lot of things. And then when it's ask questions, there's no stupid question. Again, no one expects you to know everything. And if you're embarrassed to ask the question, you're going to be more embarrassed by the outcome because it's probably going to be the wrong decision.
We have just a couple of minutes left in the show, so I want to get to this question quickly. It's for both of you. And I don't want you to narrow your response to focus on any one local school board in particular, since you've both been in these positions in the past. What advice would you offer today's trustees to help them through what are certainly difficult times for schools here in El Paso? Mr. Irabali, I'll start with you.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, trustees play a major role in the outcomes of performance in the school district. It's not just oversight, and you can do a positive impact and you can have a negative impact. And I'll give you a good example. What we saw in El Paso County from many school districts is that the board went against administration's recommendations, especially when it came to budgetary issues, and went above and beyond. And so though that year they could afford it, though their fund balance could absorb that cost, what we're now seeing is the consequences of those decisions. And so a deficit that may have been $10 to $15 million now grows to $30 to $40 million. And now we're in a situation where if the state did not come in with SB2, all of the school districts in El Paso County would have seen mega deficits, and there would have been no way out of those decisions without layoffs, and we're seeing that across the board. So really think carefully before you make these drastic decisions, because it's not just about today, it's long lasting. And the other thing I say is there has to be a way that every board can come together and build consensus around two simple things: respect one another and assume best intentions from everyone. Running for a trustee's position is difficult. It's not fun a lot of the times. There's very few days that you're just like, this is an amazing gig, because of the stress that comes with it. But if you make the assumption that all your other colleagues are there because they support kids, they support teachers, and they support the community, then you'll be a much happier person because you know you're working towards the same goal. The means are just a little different.
Mr. Margot.
Financial oversight's the primary focus. Always will be. So when we were doing things, we brought in staff to make presentations regularly. We had frequent meetings. The second thought that I have is as I said earlier, it was an advantage to us to be a district-wide, you know, and I think you need a little bit more of that understanding among individual trustees, is that we care not only for your respective district, but the district as a whole. And we want to work together to make sure the whole is better than the individual parts.
Mr. Margot, Mr. Irabali, thank you so much for being on ABC-7 Extra Sunday. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. And thank you for joining us for ABC-7 Extra Sunday. Next week, we'll take a look at the disturbing trend in El Paso of juvenile violence against family members and what local law enforcement and child psychiatrists are saying. I'm Mark Ross. Stay safe, stay strong, and I'll see you next Sunday night.